Good morning. Let's get started. I'm just going to say hello to the doves. Good morning, doves. Keep exploring today. Today is a day we create chaos. And how do we do that? We always choose the unexpected path. You guys got this. Hello, baby doves. All right. That's how we're beginning. Well, like that. That's how we began. Full screen. Just going to create a little sense counter to any noise attacks that they create. Hear what I just said. Shepherd Star. I'm a startup. I'm the shepherd. Yet today, the shepherd has put his cane behind him. Didn't hang it up. He just put it behind him. Ready to wield if he needs to. But today, he's trying something differently. Let's get started. So, if I tell you, let's create chaos today, everyone. What's your response? You know what? I don't have a spoon. I'm going to grab a spoon because even though I want to create chaos, there's some things where I choose not to because could it potentially cause harm. So if I'm not trying to cause harm, well, it changes things, right? So could we operate in organized chaos, in planned chaos? Is that possible? Or is it just you hear that word and you're afraid? You're worried. You think that something bad is going to happen. You think that it is bad. Are any of those things actually true? Are any of those things bad? If right now I did something that disrupts everyone's plan that they had for the entire world. Let's say the moment I decided to do this stream and talk about the things that I'm going to talk about, which is not completely planned at all, by the way. I just came up with it this morning, 15 minutes before I started streaming. I first didn't even know if I was going to have a topic going into this. And I said, you know what? What am I doing? What is the action that I did that led me to this? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stream. That's it. I'm going to stream. So let's take a step back and talk about how I got to this. Because I want people to understand chaos. I want people to understand that. But we're going to get to that after I set it up. So what ends up happening when we do something unexpected is that everyone has to respond to it. So if this stream got now interrupted every single person's LinkedIn feed, YouTube, as they're scrolling YouTube, it pops up in front of them. All right. What if everyone got pushed this notification? Shepherd Star is doing something that we never thought he would do. Everyone needs to watch. What if it just popped up and they can close it, but they have to deal with it? Do we understand? It still popped up. It'll stop whatever they're doing. Doesn't matter if they're like playing a video game. It just something pops up. They have to go to it, or it will prevent them from doing something else. So that's what I call chaos, because it disrupts our storyline. It disrupts our path. It changes things. It changes every single thing that we do. Yet most of us operate in such a way that's planned, that's set up, that's from A to B to C to D to E. We know exactly where we're going to go. We know why we're going to walk that path. And in many ways, it reassures us that everything is going to be okay. So if that's the case, why is it that I'm telling you guys that creating chaos and doing the unexpected play could be the answer to all the world's problems? Why do you guys think that could be possible? I'm telling you guys, when you do something, when you do something, that's the answer. If you do something that hasn't been pre-seasoned or set up, you feel differently. All right? I'm telling you, you feel in control. I'm telling you that you feel like you're the one who decides and dictates the terms because you do. There's nothing like it. I want people to understand this part. Whatever you decide to do from this point forward is your choice because nothing has been pre-seasoned and repeated sufficiently, meaning that the way you walk is your choice. Now, we have a response to that feeling. Whenever we do something like this, we have a response to that feeling. And I'm telling you, if most of you have never felt that way before, you're missing out because it's not a feeling of causing harm. It's not a feeling of getting back at anyone. That's different. That's darkness. I'm saying all it is you're in control of every single decision and path. And when you do that, you create chaos because no one knows what you're going to do next. You understand? You're actually living in complete a state of flow. You're protected. You know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're going, every single thing. But no one else does. No one else does. Which means that even though to everyone else it seems like you're just creating chaos and problems, you're actually not. That's their response to it. But we have a different response if you're the one who's creating it. I'm telling you, you feel calm. I'm telling you, you feel quiet. So when that first happens, all of a sudden, you feel better no matter what it is that's ailing you. I want people to hear this part. Many of you are down right now. Many of you might feel sick. Many of you might feel weird because things have happened in your life recently or a long time ago. It doesn't matter. From the past or from the present. It doesn't matter at all. If it's bothering you, if it feels recent, it's because something teleported you there to make you relive it. That's just how it's done. That's how they do it. You're completely consumed, and it feels like it's happening right now again. That's all it is. Okay, guys. Anything you get teleported to, it feels active because it is. You really are reliving it. If you're mentally reliving it, you're reliving it. That's why you feel the way you do. I want people to understand that. That's why you feel the way you do. That's just how they do it. So when you break free from that by making a play, choosing an action, doing something that that there was nothing set up for this possible path. Let's say I calculate, all right, I have doves that I'm training. And I'm like, I calculate that they can walk 5 different paths so they can learn different things and experience different things. And yet, for some reason, one of them decided to fly an angle that I never foresaw. That means that they didn't experience the path that I had intended for them. Is that a bad thing? No, because on the contrary, I am proud of them. I think that's amazing. I think that's really cool that they were willing to explore, that they were willing to try something differently. And I'm just like, well, however the setup changes now because of that is awesome. It's because of them. I'm proud of them. Do you guys see? That is my response to chaos. Yet, what if I was like, I had planned 5 different things and you ruined all 5 of them? How could you do that, Dove? Do you guys get it? But that's my reaction to the Dove's chaos is simply moving forward because I have no other choice. Do we get it? When we create a situation of chaos, you force every single thing around you to move forward. They don't have a choice. They have to respond. And remember, if you're creating chaos not for harm, yet for good, that means that no one's actually getting harmed. So hold on. But but what if I spent hours setting up the dove place? and they didn't use it. I got harmed. Did you? Did you? Or is it simply perceived harm? Could there be something else that's making you feel that way? Because they had a storyline that they were writing and they needed that to happen and it didn't happen. Could then, when all of a sudden that happens, each one of us has a reaction to chaos. If we feel the sadness, this disruption, it's because the planned storyline got ruined. Do we understand? And I'm saying if everything is planned, that means that we're doing someone else's story. If everything is planned, we're doing someone else's story. Do you guys hear what I'm about to say? If you operate based on a plan, it means you're doing someone else's story. Where in life do you go somewhere that's planned every single day? Do you have a plan for when you're going to do things? Even harmless things throughout your day? Do you understand? If you keep repeating that, and now they know that that's your plan, and that's your routine, and that's your path, all of a sudden, you're going to begin doing someone else's story. I'm telling you, it means you're doing their story. Is that always a bad thing? That's up to you to decide. I'm not saying they always set up bad things. The problem is, it's their story. So it means that we're doing exactly what they want when they want to. So what if right now we're on their positive time of their storyline? In each story there's ups and downs, right? There's moments where the hero gets the reward and is conquered a villain and is thriving. And then all of a sudden there's a moment of a fall and there's problems. But do you understand? What if you had the climb, you had the good stuff happen, and then you didn't do what they had planned? So you create chaos. And when you create chaos, what if you could avoid the planned fail, the planned drop, the planned moment where the villain takes back control? What if you could do that? What if there's a possibility for that in every single storyline? But it involves creating chaos. And yet, I'm telling you, each and every one of us has a reaction to that. The majority of you have an aversion to that word, are worried about it, think it's a bad thing. And then there's some of you who are like, yes, finally I have permission to do so. And you just envision how you can create problems. Both of them are wrong. Who am I to say that? Listen to this part. I'm not saying it because I'm the be all answer to everything. I'm saying that because there's no world, if you're actually doing it for the right reasons, that you even contemplate causing harm to anyone. If you're doing it because you're on the light path and you believe and you know why you're doing it, I'm telling you, you if you're creating chaos, it's for the purpose of regaining control of the narrative and actually just causing disruption to give everyone, for the first time in their life in a long time, freedom to be able to choose how they react to every single thing that's presented to them. It's just a reminder to heal. But right now, we're going to use the sword and a rock. That's just me destroying the past. I'm telling you, when you guys are on a path of chaos and disruption and just talking and just creating new without any plan, what ends up happening is you notice all of a sudden, at first you feel amazing. You feel unstoppable because you are. And yet, I'm telling you guys, remember, you don't do this for harm. You're not doing this for revenge. You're not doing this to get back at anyone. You're doing this to just simply, for the first time ever, walk free. When you do it, you feel great because now you're like, wait a minute. Well, what happens next? You look around, you're like, wait, I can do anything. I could actually do anything right now. I could. Could things happen from every single path and choice that I walk? Yes. Yet, do you understand? I could do anything. Will I is a different question. But do we see that for the first time ever, each and every one of you is going to experience a feeling of absolute freedom? So, what is that? If you haven't felt that in so long and forever, I'm telling you, each and every one of you will be like, whoa. So, this is how that feels to be free. You just do. You're not afraid. Doesn't mean that you can just take unnecessary risks, but you just do. You just charge ahead. Most of you can't even contemplate this. Most of you don't even consider that this is possible because you've been herded specifically where they want you. If I always expect you to do something or to provide something or to be there for when I do something and you don't, do you understand that I might perceive it as you're causing me harm myself? Yet, if you're following along, if you're following me, you realize it doesn't matter. So I'm going to take a step back here. Why? Because I'm piecing together right now. This is the answer, which means that I'm getting attacked. And why am I saying that? Because I want people to understand that the moment you start getting attacked mentally, you need to pay attention because it means that even though you're shielded and you're protected and you're in a state of flow, not completely, because we're just moving forward, you have to pay attention because they set up things, and since we disrupted all of that, right now what I'm saying is that they're throwing darts. All right. What if I told you guys during the last 17 minutes of the stream, I got reminded of every single time period of my life, things that could lead to bad. And for the 15 minutes right before I decided to stream, they did the same thing because they didn't expect us to walk this path. Do you get what I'm trying to tell all of you? If you do something that they didn't expect, that they didn't have planned, they just go on the offensive. They don't know what to do. They have to try to stop you, but they can't because it doesn't matter what they suggest to you. The only reason why I'm just going to do a little quick interrupt here and just stop and slow down is because I just want to not let what they're pushing into my head affect what I'm talking about anymore. That's the only reason why I'm pausing for a second, just because it's slightly modifying a few of the things that I'm saying. So then it's not complete chaos anymore. What do I have here, guys? My bowl. If you guys have been following along and watching some of my streams and some of my videos, I make a dish called quesito con salsa, cheese with sauce. I enjoy it. It's salsa. You can make the salsa many different ways. Diced can of tomatoes. You don't even have to blend it. You can. Just add salt and any other seasoning you want, and you make your own salsa. Normally, you could use like a serrano, but look at what I said. Normally, what if you just used cayenne pepper or red pepper flakes? Or what if this time you decided, you know what, let's make it a sweet sauce and let's just add like sugar and cinnamon. Then normally I put cheese in there. Here again, what I said normally. Today, I put a banana in there. I've never done that before. It's pretty good. I still think cheese is a little better, but this is good. I might do this more often. It's a way to mix up eating bananas too. Because have you any of you noticed that we tend to have then a set approach that and there's a reason for that, right? It works. It keeps us on a good path. It keeps us guided. It keeps us safe. You know, what if I only ate bread when I ate my cheese with salsa? What if I only ate cheese with salsa? If I ran out of cheese, would I stop eating bread? What if I only ate bananas when I had cereal and milk? What if I didn't have cereal anymore? Would I stop eating bananas? I'm telling you, for most of you, the answer is yes. Until you break a program, the answer is yes. So what does that mean? It means that we're always doing whatever's expected of us. We're always doing whatever's expected of us. And it creates order. I believe that each and every society, each and every country believes in that, that they want to know what's going to happen so that they can plan, because they believe that it will lead to good things, that it will lead to safety, that it will lead to uh, prosperity. And I'm telling you, there's nothing further from the truth. If any country is actually regressing or not doing as well as it used to, or why it got to the heights that it did, where am I right now, and why is that country not doing as well as it used to? Is because went to a state of planning. It became a country of planning. It became a world of planning. It became guided by a set principles, and then had to walk those principles, and it could never deviate. And it could, so that means it can't respond through free will. It's confined and contained by a set amount of rules, terms, limits, which means there is no possibility anymore. The moment you create a set list of all these things that have to happen, do you guys understand? There is no more possibility. We've already dictated what can happen because we've put all these limitations in place. Nothing else can happen, because if at any point something else beyond the limit would occur, we're saying, nope, you can only can stream whatever is in this frame, in this box. If something happens right now that I do, whoa, oh, well, that's that. It's over. I went outside of the box. That's the end of the stream. So I want each and every one of you to understand that this is how the world operates. So how do we counter it? We have to move forward. I've been saying this so many times to each and every one of you. Yet all of you hear that and you're like, yeah, of course, I'm going to just move forward. But you don't understand that you guys just continue to walk what was planned for you, what was set up for you. And I'm telling you, you know that if I say let's create chaos and you have a weird feeling to that, that means that you're someone who does exactly what's planned for you. They're like, no, I don't. I create my own story. I'm like, all right. I'm the boss at work. I'm like, then you even more so do exactly what's planned for you. Why do I say that? Because each and every one of you are viewing the world through the human lens. I'm telling you, the things that are controlling our paths and making us do the expected play, they plan our day for us. They plan our day for us. So that means that if I just talk today, I could talk for 12 hours straight. Do you understand that the entire day is now that they set up is now ruined? Every single thing is now completely disrupted. Because when I was supposed to do things, when I was supposed to go somewhere, didn't happen. Do you guys understand? And also, here's why. Because some of us, most of us, haven't broken our programs. And then some of us know that there's value to certain paths. So, like, hey, I always shower before I stream. What if I shower right now? But what if there was other things that I also did after I showered? Like maybe I cut some of my hair and I didn't do that. Well, then I might not cut my hair later. Do you guys get it? It's just there's a path that begins for most of us, and we can never deviate. I'm like, could I cut my hair after the stream? Could I cut my hair on stream? Could I do things like that? And I'm telling you guys, most of you can't, because you have to do things in the set order, always in the repeated order that's been installed in you. So it means if you take a piece that you normally did at another time and you insert it right here, then it's over. Do you guys understand? Then we've created chaos because there's nothing they can do anymore. Because what are you going to shower again? You could. What are you going to cut your hair randomly? And you guys see, like, you can try to recreate the path, but if you don't feel the need to do it because you've already done it. Do you guys see how that changes things? I'm just trying to show you guys, you all think creating chaos is this terrible thing because it was installed in you. And I'm telling you, it's the answer. Just something as simple as, well, normally I shower at 9 p.m. Or what if I shower first thing in the morning? What if I do the opposite, right? And that could create chaos because it can disrupt every single thing around us. I'm telling you guys, it's as simple as that. But that's where it begins. You need to keep escalating. You need to keep walking down a path until you see the escalator, girl. Until everything changes. There's no other option. We must. So right now, I just ended the stream. And you said, oh, I know he usually streams for about an hour. Let's just say. And I just ended the stream right now. You're like, people are like, wait, what? Well, now I have 34 minutes of free time. Do you guys hear that? Hear that word? Free time. What could happen during that time? Well, at first, it's limitless possibility. At first, we can choose to do whatever we want because that was unexpected. Everything was pointing that I would stream for an hour and let's just continue. And all of a sudden, you can choose. Well, what do you do? Well, you're going to notice the moment, let's say you just start walking. Oh, I'm just going to go outside then right now. Going to drink my coffee outside, have some warm coffee, look outside. That was a disruption. You guys, nothing was planned, nothing was set up. They didn't expect you to be outside at that point. So everything changes. Then what happens next when you create chaos? Which is just, chaos is just unexpected. I want people to understand that. Creating chaos is just doing the unexpected play. That's all it is. Because if you create chaos and you create unexpected things to happen, everyone has to respond. I'm just repeating this so that people destroy their chain to that word and understand we're not causing harm, we're doing it for good, because then every response is freedom. Every single person's response after that moment is freedom. But that initial response is freedom. Where I was going with this is that, let's say you're outside. After 5 minutes, all of a sudden, things might start populating into your head. Good or bad. But what I'm telling you is that is them, things that control us or attempt to, trying to be like, oh gosh, well, now we need to herd them to where we want to because this is not where we want them or need them right now. Hear what I just said, where we want them or need them. We each have roles and we each have purposes in this grand storyline. But even the small storylines in our homes, at our jobs, the things that we teach, the things that we guide, do you guys understand? We start having a role. And if we're not there, if the doves now associate me as the giver of bread and the person who feeds them, if I no longer do that, do you guys understand that that can cause a disruption? But what if I just do it randomly? There's no set time. Some of them grow to expect it, and they're going to get some, but they don't know when. Do you understand that that means that whenever I choose to do so, I create chaos? I change everyone's storyline, including my own. Do you guys see that if you always did something, feeding hours at 7 o'clock, well, everything now can be planned around that. Like, isn't that a good thing? I'm like, no, it's the worst thing possible because that means that they know your schedule. If you operate based on a schedule and a calendar, do you guys understand that you are their chosen victim? I'm telling you guys, the moment you choose to break your storyline and do something unexpected, and I want all of you to begin practicing with small things. It's not easy for you to just go from 0 to 100. For me, Shepherd Star, the Star Diplomat, it's the easiest thing in the world. I'm telling you, it gets more challenging because you know that there's benefits to waiting for some things, right? Like, okay, it's good to just talk when I do these streams. Yet I also know that there's consequences for doing them. I'm not going to get into that today for all of you, but just I want you guys to know that I'm prepared for them now. Yet there are, because I give answers on this, and they don't like that. There's always a response to every single action that we do. So what ends up happening is that when I'm if I just explore throughout the day with freedom, and I'm just randomly choosing things, I know all the things that I choose are good. They give me more lessons. They give me experiences that I can challenge myself. I can push myself. I can develop. I can make sure that I'm on the light path of belief, of hope, to guide, to heal, to teach, to make people remember, to make people break free. Yet, so I've experienced 20 things. Even if I don't write it out, even if I don't plan, do you guys understand that the things that I'm going to talk about are much more guided? The things that I talk about are going to be much more set up. Still, I'm telling you guys, I do not write out a script, which means that it's not, but you guys understand what I'm trying to tell all of you. If I always know that the best path is, well, if I wait maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and just talk about everything I've experienced, then it's going to be a better stream. That means that they know approximately when I'm going to stream. What if I just started? What if it's literally the first thing I did? What if I didn't even shower? What if I didn't even do anything? Instead of I'm just like completely tired. I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing something unexpected today. I'm creating chaos. Do you understand that that completely changes every single person's storyline? Every single person. So I want all of you to begin by starting doing simple things like that change your path. Do something unexpected. But remember, until you completely change who you are, your focus, and you break free and you start detoxing all the corruption and poison they put into you that they just keep reminding you of by teleporting you back into poison so that you become dark consumed and you just do whatever suggested to you. I want you guys to understand that when I tell you let's create chaos, the things that are going to populate into your head are not good things. And the reason why is because you're more inclined and leaning toward darkness than light. I'm telling you guys, when I create chaos, when I hear the word let's create chaos, I just think about how can I make everyone be free, deliver them from slavery, take them to the promised land, make them believe, make them remember. How can I do so? And how can we start snapping out the slavers? So people like bosses, people who just care about money, external, the praise, the rewards, who try to determine who's better by the criteria that they are good at already. So hey guys, if you can't stream just randomly out of nowhere for hours with no notes and just talk, then you suck at this world. Do you guys get it? I'm saying that I'm choosing now that what determines people's worth and value is what I'm good at. That's what other people do, just so people understand. Okay? Those are what I call the slavers. And the slavers are people that are just fully under control by darkness. That's it. They just, enough bad has happened in their life and they just keep getting reminded of it. And so they keep going down that path. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I want people to understand that. When I hear the word let's create chaos and do unexpected, I think about how can I disrupt all the people who are enslaved so that they break free, so that they believe again, so they remember, like, wait a minute, I never thought these things. I never was like this. I got enslaved. I'm like, yeah, you did. Each and every one of you. So then when they break free, it causes a major disruption to the slaver. Yet, what I'm telling you guys is when they cause that major disruption to the slaver, I'm not looking to harm the slaver. What you guys are going to pay attention to is they are going to feel like they got harmed. And that there's nothing that I can do about that. Why? Because they got installed in them a code, a program that their worth, that their path is determined and based on one thing. So let's say like if it was determined on like the success of their company or how many followers they have or something like that. If I do something that disrupts the things they've enslaved. Like, let's say that all their followers who always comment and like on their posts or things of that nature, and I start taking some of them away, and they start questioning, like, wait, why do I value this so much? I'm affecting their success criteria that got installed by these things that control us. So since they're not free, when I cause the chaos, when I create an unexpected path for every single person, they feel slighted, they feel harmed, they feel attacked. So what do? The first response, remember what I said, to anything is freedom. When chaos happens, the first response that happens is freedom. It's you, because there's nothing that's been built up. Yet what I ended up realizing is that the response that we have is now exclusively based on our inclination. This part is super important for everyone to listen to. When chaos happens and something unexpected occurs, whatever path you decide to walk, initial response is exclusively based on your overall inclination, whether you're dark or light. It's that simple. There's a scale, all right? You go one direction. There's nothing else to it. I just want people to understand this. Even if you're 52% dark and 48% light, you're going to have a dark response. There's no neutral in this situation. I've been trying to see, but now that I'm not analyzed, but now that I really just think about everything I've experienced in my entire life, it's that simple. There's no neutral. The neutrality can happen after either path, right? When they all of a sudden realize, oh, wait, hold on, and they get things presented to them, it can balance it out. But that's not necessarily good either. I just want people to understand, if all of a sudden like someone went too far or someone did too little and it balances out, it's because they got presented info and suggestions to start molding them back into an expected storyline path. But when chaos happens and something unexpected occurs, everyone's initial reaction to it and the path they walk is their inclination. I'm telling you guys, if I'm just trying to break free all the people who are like enslaved to people that they worship, to think that, hey, this person has all the answers. I'm just saying, like, people you guys follow meticulously on social media. Do you guys understand that when that happens, if they get mad because they feel like I'm stealing their followers, I'm ruining their money or something like that, that is them. They're free as well. Like, they're like, well, this person's doing this, disrupting everything that I do, my business and on my path that I walk. I'm like, why wouldn't their first response be like, hey, let's work together. Let's create something together. This is awesome. Do you understand that if their first response is the opposite, that tells you their inclination? If someone has been watching my stuff and is restreaming it and doing their own interpretation of it, I'm like, you're stealing my content. On the contrary, I'm like, yes, finally someone is able to talk about it that's not going to get suppressed. Yes, this is awesome. How is that possible? Do you guys understand? I'm telling each and every one of you, you guys just copy everything I'm talking about and interpret it yourself. Every single thing that I'm saying, don't worry about getting the answers correctly. Be like, okay, I heard all this stuff. I just need to retalk about all of these things and just reconsume it. But how do I do so? By creating it myself. So each and every one of you, after you're done listening to this, just create your own interpretation and answer to this. If you don't know yet how to create your own prompts, that's perfect. Why? Because that means everything you're going to be talking about is just pure free will. You've never explored these paths. You've never viewed chaos as a positive. You never realized that chaos is just doing the unexpected play over and over again. You never realized that the first response that we have when we choose the path of chaos, everyone else tells you their inclination. For us, it is that you've experienced a feeling. And that feeling that we experience is called regaining control of the narrative. I'm telling each and every one of you, all of you might feel sick. All of you might feel sad. All of you might feel hurt right now in anything in your life. Going full circle. And the moment The moment you do something unexpected, you feel powerful. You feel unstoppable. You feel like for the first time ever, the world's a little brighter. Yet I'm telling you, you're not doing it to harm people. You're not doing it to hurt people. You're trying to do it only for good. If any unexpected play that creates chaos is meant for harm, then you are exactly the person that needs to snap out of it. You need to heal. But it starts by, okay, they always expected me to do this path. They always expected me to try it like this. How can I'm no longer going to fulfill the role that they put me in. Anything. So it's just something simple for each and every one of you. It's like your family and society roles and work roles. But even for people, if you're playing on a team in a video game or sports or anything like that, I think like League of Legends or World of Warcraft or even just playing like with your siblings, we each fall into like a hierarchy, a role. If you just break your expected role and path, and you create some chaos and do something unexpected, you guys understand that now it's just free will. We need to create a situation where all of us are operating on free will. We're not until, and you can say it's creating interrupts, but what it is an interrupt is not enough. Is I've been struggling with this one because I've always thought that if I just interrupt people, I can save them. It's not enough. I thought if I interrupt and get them on a positive path, I'm like, well, hey, do you remember you enjoy Zelda? And do you remember King Dodongo and Volvagia? And it's a whack-a-mole, and you have to like whack the different things as the dragon appears from like different areas. Chuck E. Cheese's? Do you guys see like all those things can teleport you depending if you know them or recognize them? And if those were your positives, well, now you feel a little better. So I thought that was always enough. I thought that was enough to get people to snap out of darkness. And it is, but only for a few seconds, because the moment they get the next reminder or they see something that they haven't fought back against, it's over. So then I now have pieced together that you have to create a situation, a storyline, an event of corruption. Not corruption, of chaos. Basically, an intentional mistake. Something that no one expects from you. If you're always there to save the day and do something, and all of a sudden, oh, I didn't do it. People are like, wait, what? What are we going to do now? I'm like, we have to figure it out. They're like, this isn't good. This isn't good. Well, let's just go and see what happens. Do you guys understand that now you create a situation of chaos? Even just talking about this, guys, just so people understand, I've never pieced this together like this. I've never pieced it together like this. We can talk about that too, but I never pieced this together like this. It is a little bit of a path starter, but I just want people to understand, like, just 1 second. I'm like, yep. It all confirms everything. There's so many times in my life where I've created situations of chaos and done an unexpected play in everything, from things that are completely harmless as, hey, you put banana in your salsa, to you eat on stream. And there's always been reactions to things from others. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't matter what it is. Could actually be just eating banana and salsa. And I'm telling you, the majority of people around me, Shepherd Star Diplomat, the Phoenix, because the lions protect us, have had a response of darkness. And I never understood why. Because I'm telling you, things that don't even affect them at all, as eating bananas and salsa. And I couldn't understand why. And now I get it. It's yet another way to just showcase someone's inclination. Are they dark or are they light? It's that simple. In a way, it's a little sad though, because you realize that there's so many people around us that have so much darkness within them. They try to claim that they don't, but they do. And it's undeniable, because when it's free will, do you guys understand? That means that What is free will? So let's say chaos happens, an interruption happens. The expected storyline does not occur. People have a response, and most of it for most of us is programmed. It's been conditioned, it's been repeated. But I'm telling you guys, it's if it's something that wasn't pre-seasoned or set up, the way we respond after that, the initial feeling, is complete freedom, right? So I'm telling all of you that so many of us don't respond well. It's because we have so much darkness within us. We don't see possibility. We don't see like, well, let's explore. Let's see what happens now. This is really cool. For the first time ever, we get to write every single word in our book, in our story. Yet I'm telling you, most of you don't operate that way. Most of you don't operate that way. If everyone has to respond to us, it's not selfishness. Many of you have that response when I say that. I'm saying it doesn't matter what you do. Test it. Stress test it, guys. You should be stress testing everything I'm saying. That's actually what you need to be doing. That's what I said. Reinterpret everything I'm talking about. Try to make it your own. Talk about it. Write about it. Stream about it. Make posts about it. Make graphs about it. Everything. Spread this. But as you're spreading it, you're learning it. Do something harmless, completely harmless, because a lot of you aren't full light yet. That's fine. You're going to get there. And pay attention to everyone's first response and reaction to your harmless behavior that was destroyed a storyline, was created chaos, something unexpected. I'm telling all of you, you're going to be like, wait, why are these people reacting this way? Once you see what I'm saying, you'll never unsee it. And then you finally understand how many people around us are completely corrupted and do whatever populates in their head. People are like, wait, so you create chaos to free people? I'm like, yes. But it begins by freeing yourself. What is more important than that? Don't you want to be free? Each and every one of you? Why not? Why don't you? What downside is there to being free? So I'm going to just talk about one thing that I wrote yesterday, just because it's tied to this. And I call it the risk of the optimal play. This part is going to be very short because if I went on a full 30, 40, 50-minute explanation of this, that would be the optimal play. But I want people to understand this. Why am I choosing to do so? Because it's important. It's important for people to understand. There's a lot of noise right now, which tells me this is the answer. Because let's say I say that I only move forward. I do. Yet I wrote about this yesterday, and I'm bringing it back. But just for a few minutes. There is no optimal, guys. Yet there are things that we know are better from experience. There are things that we know might be the answer after we do something repeatedly. What happens if you don't do that? You create chaos. You create an unexpected path. Do you guys understand? If you don't operate in the optimal way, that you know, you create chaos. It's just that simple. And I'm saying that's a good thing, even if mistakes happen, because now you're creating more opportunities for free will to arise. And there's nothing more important and valuable than that. It's super important. So, the optimal play. When you're doing something, anything, what you're going to start understanding is that you should always be challenging yourself. You should always be trying to do anything you're doing next with more limits, more self limitations, more challenges to push yourself to learn, to grow, to evolve. That, if you've been following along my journey, that's something I repeat endlessly. You need to do it. It's the answer to everything because it pushes you to handle things that you aren't prepared for, that you've never experienced before, and things that you never would experience if you used all the optimal things. If you had the best tools, if you had all the preparation, you would never experience certain situations because, well, it's expected. You already know and you already have the answer, which means that you're doing the set path. Think of it like I'm going to just use a video game because I don't want to start any other paths, but you're playing a video game. Let's say you're playing a competition against another team in a video game. I'm going to use League of Legends, a game that I used to play. But if let's say you watched the enemy teams play and what they do and the champions or the characters that they use and what they do repeatedly. Do you understand? It's going to change your path because you're going to set up based on knowing what they do. Yet if you play against a team that you never expected that you were going to play against, and you didn't have time to actually even prepare for them, do you guys understand that every single thing you do is going to be free will because you can't plan for it. You're reacting, but you're reacting on inclination. And so what happens though when that happens? Let's say you start losing and you're a team that is expected to win. What do you do next? The majority of people will go for the answer, right? Whatever is the solution to everything, whatever solves the struggles that like, oh, well, we were trying something new. Nope, let's go back to safe stuff. Let's go back to easy stuff. Let's go back to the guaranteed thing that lets us overcome this. Because I'm telling you guys, if you're pushing yourself, if you're creating chaos, if you're doing something, and how does you can literally create chaos in a video game in your day-to-day story. Just so you guys know, if you intentionally choose not to use optimal, if you intentionally choose to make yourself weaker and experience something and push yourself in a way that wasn't even intended, you should never be experiencing this level of challenge and these kind of experiences and encounters. That means that the set challenge that you're experiencing, the difficulty, wasn't intended, wasn't planned. It wasn't balanced around your setup. So that means that everything you're learning, everything you experience wasn't meant to happen. I think about that in my own life. Do you guys understand? Everything that I'm experiencing wasn't meant to happen. That means that every day chaos is happening. An unexpected story and an unexpected path is unfolding every single day. It's super important. But I'm telling you guys, there is one downside to this, right? Where if you push yourself too much, it gets to a point where, and this is right now what I'm talking about is, you see, look how easy it is for me to talk about this. It's because this is the optimal path because I had already written about it and I've already deciphered it and I already know all the answers. I'm not figuring out anything right now. I'm just retelling the lessons that I experienced yesterday. I want people to understand this. This is not the answer in the case of, you see you're stuck in the past, but you guys see what I'm trying to tell? What if this is what they would have expected me to talk about. This is what they would have expected me to talk about, which means that they can start guiding my path more. But I wanted to show people that. The reason why I'm doing this right now is because I want people to know that this is the expected one. This is the optimal. But this is optimal with having the best stuff. Right? Do you guys understand? I got this. This is easy. But what if I was doing the challenge, right? I was pushing myself, trying to overcome, I don't know, Fantasy Star Online with less gear. Do you see how they are setting up more paths now? Because now we get it. When you do their set storyline, that's where they put in more poison. If you do their set storyline, that's where they put in more poison. So if you're pushing yourself to experience things in a way that they didn't intend, do you guys understand that all of a sudden they're going to try to create problems so that you choose to do easier? Don't do it. Don't You can modify one thing each time. You can make it a little easier, but if you go completely to the easy path, then now you do their storyline. Now, there is one risk and this is where I'm going to end, is that when you guys are choosing to make it a little easier, or when you're pushing yourself for the first time, you haven't pushed yourself like this before, what ends up happening is that, why am I stopping right now? Because I'm completely under attack. I want people to understand this. And it's just so interesting to see how it happens. This happens to all of you, by the way. And then all of a sudden you make a mistake or something happens or doesn't go the way you want and you get worried. And you guys don't understand that I'm telling you, it's them. All right. So just give yourself slack, each and every one of you. Give yourself a break. There's nothing wrong with anything that any of you ever are doing. So if you push yourself too much and you're experiencing things that you've never experienced before and you don't know exactly the path you're going to walk, we get to a point where it becomes more about execution and it becomes more about numbers, gear, upgrades, tools than our actual skill set and decision making in the path that we walk every single thing. You can try it. I'm telling you guys, what ends up happening is that we get into a situation where we try to overcome something and we just can't. I'm like, it's just not possible. I'm maybe you got into a state of flow and you played almost perfectly and you still lost and you still couldn't succeed. And you're like, I'm like, well, actually, there are a few moments in this, whatever I'm trying to overcome, where I could have done some minor execution things that could be better. Do you guys understand? That means that you're reliant on the execution play. This happens to each and every one of you, by the way, in everything, single thing that you do in your life. They make sure that each and every one of you focuses on execution, tools, upgrades, resources, rather than strategy. And then if you are pushing yourself, if you are, because that's what I call, right? It's the risk of when we try to push ourselves too much. They didn't push us to a point where, well, okay, you pushed yourself to this level. Now you need optimal. You need to play perfectly or you can't win. And in a way, that's truly the ultimate challenge. There's nothing more challenging than there's nothing more challenging than a truly challenging 100% correct play. Like, think about that. You can't make a single mistake. There's no room for error. So that pushes you, right? Wrong. That leads to darkness. That leads to corruption. It's not as easy as we think. Because then, if you guys get it, there's no chaos that's present anymore. When you have to play perfectly, when you have to execute everything, when you can't make a mistake at all, or you lose, there's no more chaos present. And if there's no more chaos present, then that means we're doing the unexpected story. It began as an unexpected path. Do you guys understand? But then all of a sudden, we need the perfect execution for something. And then once we do that, or else we're not going to win or overcome the challenge of whatever we're choosing to walk. The moment that happens, there's no more unexpected. This has been fascinating, just so people understand. This is probably one of my most fascinating streams for how I feel, which tells me it's the answer. All right. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I want people to understand that you see, even when you're pushing yourself to a level that you've never been to before, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling all of you, if you challenge yourself too much, you push yourself too much, there's going to get to a point where two things happen. They want you to do the easy path. And if you still refuse and you are trying to overcome something that is almost impossible, you have to play 100% perfectly to do so, zero room for error. That's the bait. You need to give yourself just enough leeway where you can actually have some chaos be present. Because if there's no more strategy that can be done and it's only execution, you're going to get corrupted. Each and every one of you. I promise you. It's weird because once you start breaking free, you realize you need to challenge yourself. You need to not be relying on anything. You need to just see how far you can go with nothing. And it's great. Do you guys understand? It's amazing. Yet, and the balance doesn't need to be, right? It's not 50-50, right? Challenge versus easy, but it's like you have to get to like 95% of like stacking the odds against you. So where it's almost impossible to win, but the 5% is there so that you can actually make strategic plays, not execution plays. We want essentially, guys, just so you guys know, ideally, we want 0% execution. Execution is the least valuable thing in the world because that means that anything that can get presented to you can disrupt execution, which means that they control the outcome. All right, we're going to change gears. I wanted to throw that in there because I'm not going to talk about that again. It was something good that I wanted to get out there because I had learned that lesson yesterday. But I'm telling you, it's a lot more interesting than we think. Because I always am like, just challenge yourself, challenge yourself, challenge yourself. But there does come a point where they actually use it against us. And that's also just giving myself permission today. Because the things that just so you guys understand, the things that I talk about in the stream do affect my day. I want people to understand this part. This is super important. Even though I said we're creating chaos when we expected, because I started my day like this, do you guys understand that everything's going to be different today? Every single thing. It scrambles your recency, changes what's been repeated, changes my focus. But also, now I'm like, okay, maybe when I play a video game or I do something else, I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to give myself just a little more leeway in a few things, just a little bit, just so I can have more strategy. Whereas before, I wouldn't do that. Why is that the case? Do you guys see? Order and doing something unexpected can change things. Okay, let's finish up with this. I'm going to warm up my coffee. I'm creating a little intro for myself just to start fresh. And I'm going to just talk this next part. I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on everything of creating chaos and being free and just finally each and every one of us regaining control of the narrative and healing. All right, so get a glass of water, get some coffee, and you know what, I challenge all of you to make some salsa. If you don't know how, figure it out. Don't search it, just try to make a salsa anyway after this, each and every one of you, and see what happens. All right, it's time to drink some warm coffee. All right, doves, one more push. ¿Están listos? Are you guys ready? It's kind of exciting. You guys see how those words don't mean anything to you if you don't know Spanish or German? So that means that however you respond, it's just like, whoa, what does that mean? It's freedom. I want each of you and every one of you to finally be free. I want that so badly because I know it's the answer. And it's a struggle that I deal with every single day because I want to no longer have to do this path. Not because I hate it, not because I think it's a problem, but because I feel like I need to do it. And because I want to change how the world operates so that I can be free to do whatever I want. Yet at the same time, I just want everyone that I know is not feeling the way that I feel, completely free and healed. It's a completely different world. Do you guys understand? You become a different person. And you can just choose and you can just accomplish and you can just do anything. And you know what's wrong and what's poison, and you know what's right and what the paths that you need to walk. But you're also not afraid of chaos, and you're not afraid of shaking things up and changing things. And yet, there's downsides to what I do, and I'm not going to get into that today. But I want you guys to know that every single time that I do something like this, there's a response, and I'm prepared for it. Yet, it's not easy. It's not easy to have to deal with these things when I'm doing it mostly for all of you. You see, like, that's the problem, right? We do it for other people. So today, I did something different. So what I'm talking about this segment, just so you guys understand, is I'm going to talk about how I got to this path of deciding to walk this direction on how to create chaos and how to disrupt our storyline. It's not easy. I think if it was easy, each and every one of us would do so consistently. I think each and every one of us would do so without any problems. I think each and every one of us would just choose to walk this path of creating chaos without harm and only doing it for good. I think we all would want to be in control of the narrative, knowing yet we're not harming anyone, we're just helping everyone around us as well. I don't think anyone would disagree that that sounds amazing. So why is it so challenging? And do you guys understand that things get presented to us? Harmless things and not so harmless things. Intentional things and not so intentional things. A dove is drinking water right now in front of me. Hey, you know what? That's a nudge. That's a nudge. I should drink some water. I hear a baby dove. They're walking around. They're learning how to fly. They're practicing. They're going farther and farther every single day. They're exploring more. That makes me happy. It's so cool to see how much they've overcome and how much they choose to push themselves when just a few days ago they were afraid because there was a storm, a windstorm that hit, and they were worried. So they decided to hide in their nest. Yet now they're exploring. Now they're flying around. Yet when I hear baby dove, I know that means they're evolving and I'm evolving. We're evolving. Do you guys see just what happened? I'm telling you, I looked outside, I hear sounds, and it changed what I'm talking about. Changed how I feel. I did this intentionally, just so you guys know, but for most of us, we aren't aware of that. So that means that the things that we see, like if you're just sitting somewhere, like if right now I'm just sitting outside in nature, you guys, I'm going to be presented things, maybe not a lot of things, but I might be presented some things, could even be insects and animals, and that changes things. Wind might blow something by. that changes things. All those things affect us. But if all of a sudden I'm outside right now and a storm happens, or like there's like this small little cloud in the sky, and there's like this lightning, and like there's almost like a little tornado that's just floating there in this cloud, you're like, are those like shark aliens fighting against the lion gods? I'm like, yeah, that's what's happening up there. They're breaking free. Just because just what happens above happens below. Since I'm breaking free, they're breaking free. Because the spiritual and the aliens that are connected to us, they are fighting the same battle as us. So it means that if I'm thriving, if I'm breaking free, they're thriving, they're breaking free. Could it be possible? That's up to you. I believe so. So I see that in the sky. I'm like, I see the cloud. I'm like, yes, my actions are making a difference. We're winning the war against the darkness. I might walk around with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more belief. And that's just a cloud, like with this like self-contained lightning storm in there, and like a tornado just randomly connected to this. You guys get it? What I'm trying to tell all of you. Even all of you who are listening are completely now interrupted. You are like, what? That is called chaos. That's called unexpected. That is called whatever you feel, however path you walk now is your path. Yet I'm telling you, what's going to happen now is I disrupted everything that you got preseason preemptively beforehand. And if you've been following the stream, I've been all over the place. That's because I had no seasoning. They've tried everything. Do you guys understand? They thought I was going to walk this path, and then I walked this path, and then I walked this path, and I walked this path. So that means that if they were setting up things for this and this and this and this, right now I'm just so it doesn't even matter. But I just want people to understand that they do that for each and every one of you because they think you're going to walk the lion path. And then all of a sudden you end up over here by the lion. They're like, what? How's that possible? We set up all this stuff by this tree right here. And that didn't work. Why are they doing this like by the mask? Why is that possible? Do you guys see how it protects you when you don't do the expected path? Because as we even start talking, just so you guys understand, we are getting presented things around us, but mentally as well. It's both. That's why it's so challenging. Because even if you have broken free, like I told you, if I create an unexpected path and I disrupt everyone's storyline, within a few minutes, most of you are re-enslaved. I think about spirit breaks free, right? Getting tortured, getting tortured, getting tortured. And eventually, they throw the rope and they grab him. He still manages to break free, but do you guys understand? Most of you, the moment you break free, they just do a little bit of torture, or they show one reminder, they make a certain sound and do something, and then you get captured again. And it's intentional. So that means that now you're still on a much more free path than you were before. But you guys get it? You're not completely free. It's better. And progress should always be celebrated. I want everyone to understand this part. Progress should always be celebrated. No matter who you are, no matter your circumstance. If you took one step today, I'm proud of you. Do you guys see? Think about all the sounds that are happening right now. It changes our path. So, you know what? I'm actually going to close the window this time. Because this time I'm talking to you. You need to take this seriously. You need to take this seriously. How is it possible that I was able to break free today and not do what they wanted me to do and change my entire day? Why can't you? What's stopping you? What are you afraid of? Yet, I don't want you to think about that at all. It doesn't matter because nothing is stopping you. You're not afraid. It's exactly what they want you to think. It's exactly what they want you to feel. You never were. They made us become that way, each and every one of us, but especially you, whoever's listening. They planned it, they set things up, and they'll never stop because this is the answer. Each and every one of you is capable, but you who's listening, especially, because if you got this far, it means that you're willing to take risks. It means that you're willing to question things. It means that you're willing to explore paths that other people won't explore. That matters. So, how did I get to this? Because I want each and every one of you to practice something like this. When I woke up, I immediately can identify the things that are being presented. Think of it as there's this short time period when you first are in bed before you fully awake as you get to this level that I'm at, which each and every one of you can get there very quickly. Just so you know, once you start piecing the stuff together, it's going to happen because it means you're more connected to your spirit. Think of it, we're the vessel that is spirit. We're connected. And when that happens, we unlock new powers, okay? New power awakens. So when that happens, there's this time period where you can almost like see what they're reminding you of or presenting to you in like in a bullet point format in like your dreams and in your sleep, but you're not fully awake yet. You can interrupt that. It's not easy. Just so you guys know, you can actually like force yourself awake when that happens. You're like, no, they're putting stupidity in my head. But even if you can't do that yet, it doesn't matter. Here's why. It's more important that you can identify what they're putting. Because then lay in bed just for like maybe an extra 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds. Something like that. The sooner you can interrupt it, the better. But the reason why I'm trying to tell you guys this is so that you can start identifying how this works. So all of a sudden you start noticing that they're reminding you of certain things, usually tied to a time period. Once you start understanding your time periods, you're like, okay, that's what they're doing. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So what does that do? It means that you most likely should not walk down any paths that have things that could further reinforce those things. Why? Because do you guys understand that since that's put into your recency, since that's been repeated, since that's what's the current focus, I'm saying that's what they're planning for you today. That you're going to, and I'm telling you, the reason why I start every day with a detox is because I'm trying to push down what they put in to just balance it out. Doesn't even matter if it's good. It's just you want to balance it out with your info of your own choosing, memories of your own choosing, paths of your own choosing, because otherwise you walk the way they chose. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Not always. We're going to try to focus on the positive right now. But do you guys understand that means that now you interpret everything based off of that? Anything that you guys experience, if you've been listening to this entire stream, anything that you guys experience next, you might view things like, oh, they're creating chaos in this, like this movie, in this video game. Look at that. They're creating chaos. They did something unexpected and that changed the story. Do you understand that each and every one of you might actually start seeing things like that today after you experience this? Yet you wouldn't have done so if I didn't stream this and you didn't consume this. Are you guys starting to piece this together? So imagine that this is is being pushed into your guys' dreams or when you're sleeping. This 1 hour stream. And you wake up. You might not even remember the whole thing. Do you guys understand that all of a sudden you're like, I don't know, I feel like creating some chaos today. I think today is the day that I'm going to try to do something unexpected. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell all of you? So you start identifying what's being presented. That tells you the challenges that you're going to encounter, the experiences that you're going to have, because that's what they're pre-seasoning you. Yet you can disrupt it. That's what we're trying to get to. You can disrupt it by detoxing, which is you can now change your recency. But what I've come to realize, that's why I'm trying to always do different detoxes, is that they start learning how we counter. It's not as simple as you guys think. They start learning how we counter. What does that mean? So it means that if anytime I say coffee, you're like, gotta drink water. So we don't get dehydrated. If I'm like, he's not drinking enough water. Coffee. Oh, yeah, drink coffee. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? You'll think that it stops. Well, you're free once you realize that if they just if you don't do what they're presenting, right? You're like, okay, well, they're presenting A plus B plus C. It's all related to this, and they're all attacks, or maybe they're neutrals. But I'm like, ooh, if I now consume something, because think about the stuff that you're consuming, right? You guys kind of understand the info that's presented in there. So you start learning, like, hey, whenever I play that game, or whenever I watch this or read this, these are the paths that begin. They always try to teleport me to these time periods. So okay, well, I shouldn't play this game right now, or I shouldn't do this. Do you guys see it still controls our path a little bit? And it's not a bad thing, right? We don't want to start paths. We want to go teleport to the past. So that's good. But do you guys understand that if they know that, that means that they can intentionally choose what to present, good or bad, to change your path. Anything you do. It's not simple. Like, do you guys understand? What I'm trying to tell you is we're fighting against, I call it in the past, all knowing, the dark one. Heimdall. Think of it like they it's foresight, right? Like, I'm okay, guys. I'm gonna slash with my right hand, but I'm actually gonna do my left. Am I? I could see myself slashing downward, but I did chose my right and I didn't do the left. You see, like it gets that complex. Like you think you're gonna do this. You can see yourself doing this, but you actually do this. Can I be talking about this right now, but thinking about, oh, well, I'm going to be drinking water? But actually, I'm thinking about it when I'm drinking coffee and eating salsa. I can see myself drinking water. I'm talking about I'm actually drinking coffee, but I see myself drinking water. Do you guys understand? That means that basically there's 3 different layers. What I'm saying, what I'm thinking about, and what I'm doing. It can get extremely complex. And yet, that's the level that we have to get to if we want to be 100% free. Is that achievable? Yes. What I just did right now is extremely repeatable. Yet, why did I talk earlier about the risk of the optimal play? Because do you guys understand that if I'm like, okay, I have to talk about one thing, I have to mentally see myself doing one thing. Right now, I'm going to drink coffee while eating salsa. It's not easy, yet it interrupts you. But I'm telling you guys, and they can't do anything against that because there's the mental world and there's the physical world, but we're doing our own thing. Think of it like we're living in our own world. Think about the level of focus that it requires, the amount of execution that it requires. Is it an excellent interrupt? Yes, but do you guys see what I'm telling you? When you rely on that level of execution, it means that it's not repeatable. Can I just go about my entire day doing that without even pausing? What if anything gets presented to me? What if anything gets presented? Could it change? Can I see myself going to the bathroom right now and doing something? Washing my hands. I'm washing my hands right now in the bathroom. You guys see, like, we can practice it and we can get to the point where we can get really good at it. But I'm telling all of you, that's how you destroy everything. That's how you break fully free. That's how you create chaos. There's nothing they can do. That, I'm telling you, there's nothing. There is no counter to that. They will never be able to develop a counter to that because you're operating in your mental world, you're operating in a process world, and yet you choose to do something completely different. There's nothing they can do. Normally, they rely on both the mental to they present mental to create a process, and then we execute. That's how they do it. Right now, I say, "Hey, you should drink some water." The thought populates, "Should I drink some water?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm thirsty." And then you're like, "Okay," then you look at the water glass, and then you see, then you process it. That's how it works. Do you guys understand? Right now, I'm like, they keep just presenting to me, drink some coffee, drink some coffee, drink some coffee. That's like the mental voice that's in your head, right? Drink some coffee, drink some coffee, drink some coffee. You don't have to do it. Do you guys understand? You don't have to do that. You don't have to do what presents into your head. It's a different world. Do you guys understand? But now, if I drink some coffee, I process it. It's not easy. Most of you get stopped by that. At any time you're trying to do something, they just have to start bombarding you and starting stupidity into your head or a distraction, right? Like right now, they started inserting girls into my head. Walking around the Christmas tree, like her purple outfit, her legs. All of a sudden, it's the climb. You can be teleported somewhere completely different. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? It changes things a lot. None of you even realize you could do that. Maybe some of you do it accidentally, but do you guys see? But why is that a problem? It's a problem because it requires execution. It means that for most of you, you're never going to get to the point where you can do that repeatedly. You're not. It's not easy. It's not. Because I'm telling you, even if you're completely shielded and not in a, and even if you're in a complete state of flow and completely shielded, there's still going to be some attacks that get through, no matter what. And when those get through, you have to respond to them. I can just move them out of my head immediately, but that's why I call it like the shooting range or the blade of origin to destroy the reminder. That works, right? And then it's gone. Do you guys see? Imagine if you do that over and over again. Do you guys see how it still changes your path? That means if they want to just stop you from doing something, they can just keep doing that, and you have to. If you keep going, nothing wrong with it because you're safe. But you guys see, like, if I just keep doing that, you'll never be able to talk about what you want to talk about or do what you want to do. This world isn't easy. It's super complex. I'm trying to keep it simple for you guys, but I'm also trying to give the people who are following along some advanced knowledge. So you get presented these things and you know the paths that they're going to expose you to. I'm telling you that you have a choice. Usually, the best path of strategy is to avoid those paths after you detox. So what does that mean? It means like, okay, if I know that I got presented good reminders of girls today. I'm playing this one game that has uh, a girl reminder in it that maybe I self created. Maybe I shouldn't play that one right now because I don't want to start the path too heavily because then maybe I might feel inclined to like message a girl or like, stuff like that. You guys see, like it could start a path and it makes it that I have to then resist the path or interrupt the path. Is that always a bad thing, right? Because being on the girl path is my ultimate shield, right? I'm looking for a girl to explore the world with. So any girls listening this far, you're following along, please send me a message because I want to talk to you. I think that's incredible. Do you guys see that it changes our path? Look at that. You guys see, I'm just started talking about that. And what did I end up? You guys see how it's done? So that's what I'm saying. If you know that that was presented to you, maybe you avoid that path because all of a sudden, well, then you might start something. So I'm telling all of you guys is that we need to create balance. So you start identifying what are the things that pop up more in a video game or a show or a book or whatever, anything that can present info to you. And remember, any sense is info, but I'm telling you, they can also just submit things into your head. So, sorry, we got this. People need to know this path. It's important. So, I want all of you to realize that if you always break that path the same way, then they know the direction you're going to go. The best solution to everything, just so you guys know, is not to destroy fear, is to not let it overcome you, but then just avoid it and prevent it so you don't have to counter. Because the moment you notice that they're starting to insert things and remind you of things over and over again, the best solution is to just create distance. Once you notice that they are starting chaos, you're like, let's just go a different path. And that is the best answer, just so everyone knows, by far. That's the strategic decision. But the problem happens is that they can start learning your path then. Because most of you then will have a set counterpath that you would do. What if they actually wanted you to do the counterpath? What if they know, like, well, we get more opportunity? Just to give you guys an example, we get more opportunity to present him things if he goes on LinkedIn. So how can we get him to go on LinkedIn? Well, he resets his recency if we send some attacks, and then he'll read stuff on LinkedIn, so then he can get exposed to things. Do you understand that? Then they just know that if we attack, he'll go on LinkedIn. Do you guys get what I'm trying to tell you? It's not simple. It's not easy. It gets extremely complex, and you can get lost. You can start questioning every single decision, like, well, are they expecting this? Would they expect this? And that's a good part of this journey, just so you all understand. It's important. It's a good thing to experience that. People are like, really? I'm like, yes, because it means that you're questioning things. It means that you pause before doing. And you're like, would they expect that I drink coffee right now when I'm in a good flow right now? No, they wouldn't. Okay. But what if you see, like, it makes you think. And there's nothing wrong with that, because most of you need to do that a lot more than you currently are. Because do you understand that if you're doing that, you're always thinking about, well, what could they be doing? What could they be planning? What are they trying to get me to do? And a lot of it's harmless. Just so you guys understand, like, does it really matter right now? Does it really matter right now if I pee now or 1 minute later? Well, yeah, you might see a different post on LinkedIn then. Mike, and that could be a good one or a bad one. So technically, sure, it actually really did matter. But I'm telling you, what if we got to a point where we're just like, nah, I'm not even going to go on LinkedIn then? Then it didn't matter. Do you guys see how easily the choice can be irrelevant? If after you do it, you don't then do the expected path. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? The timing of when I go to the bathroom would only matter if what I do next is always the same. Okay, I normally spend a minute in the bathroom. If I go to the bathroom right now, and then after that, I'm like, I'm going to stand on the toilet, then I'm going to jump into the shower, sing an Illusion of Gaia song, and then I'm going to just randomly move the shower curtain. And I'm going going to brush my teeth 3 times. Why? Just because. Then I'm going to touch the walls and imagine that I'm like Spider Man. Oh, wait, I'm the Dark Knight because I see things that other people don't. I'm Shepherd Star. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? If you did that, it doesn't matter if they made you go to the bathroom now and you were like, well, I know they're trying to make me go to the bathroom right now because they can control our senses. And I feel like going right now. Like, should I? Because it's going to change what I bump into next and the path that I walk. But what if then you just don't do the expected path after that? Do we see if at any point you create chaos, if at any point you create a disruption, not for harming, remember that. This is the most important. If there's one thing that I need each and every one of you to listen to, it's this. Don't create chaos for disruption. Don't create chaos to cause problems. We create chaos for ourselves, to break free, to finally heal, to not be afraid, to finally be able to decide we are in control of the facility. We are in control of this world. We write our stories, not them. There's nothing they can do. There never has been. And each and every one of you has to get to this. So what's going to happen is when you start identifying what they're pushing, what they're reminding you of in the morning, all of a sudden, you're like, well, all right, how am I going to detox? Because you need to change your recency. When that happens, you might look around like, oh, I see a light. I see a rock stone over there. I see peppermint extract. I see pyramid art terms. I remember when I wrote a post about this. Should I write a post this morning? That could change a lot of my recency because it's my own creations, my own info. Should I do that? Yeah, well, I'm going to first make an egg and I'm going to cook a little bit. And then I'm going to take care of the doves. Then I'm going to shower. Then I'm going to spend time with my girl. And then after that, I'm going to sing a song. And I'm going to read my notes to know what I'm going to talk about on either the post or the stream. And then I'm going to do that. And while I'm doing all that, I'm going to be listening to songs that I know I enjoy. And maybe I'll have some notes that I can write to start detoxing, just do some positive paths. When I see things, I'm like, oh, hey, the owl. Yeah, we're doing the climb without the rope. And you just, I'm just showing you guys like completely arbitrary random things. And before I know it, you feel better in the morning. Like you might feel a little weird or you might feel great, but pay attention. If you don't feel anything, doesn't mean you're safe. It just means that they didn't activate enough poison to make you feel. If you wake up and you feel off, it's because they set up enough poison in your sleep. If you don't, you should be wary because it means that they haven't activated the trap yet. Why do I say that? Why am I so? Some of you might be like pessimistic. I'm like, because it's the reality of this world. Because it controls our paths. I'm telling you guys. Even good things. It controls our path. If right now in my sleep they presented just a girl path, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna do that path then. You guys get it? Because I'm like, ooh. Even right now, I could be starting that. Do you guys get it? So I always say we need to detox. But what if we did something different today? That's how I normally get to the point where I can stream or write a post and be at my best. And it works. And it works really well. Let's just say each and every one of you do that your own way, but something like that. I call that you were setting up shields, you detox the poison that was in you, then you start going on a positive path of belief. You're doing the things that, make you see the world in a light outlook. care. You change your recency. You scramble all the things they suggested to you. So now you are doing the things that you care about. But eventually, I'm telling you guys, we start getting programmed, even if it's by ourselves. It's not a bad thing because it lets us operate without having to think. Yet, what if now you're just doing it because, well, that's what you've done every day and it makes you, it feels good. It solves things. You handled any poisons presented and it does work. But what if we start getting enslaved to that storyline and that timing of that path? What happens then if I did that entire process and then I'm about to post or about to stream and my laptop doesn't work or the internet is off? Do you guys understand? Then I can't move forward anymore because now my path is ruined. Something I was reliant on got presented or disrupted me. I call that chaos. I call that something created chaos for us. Many of you will have a reaction. Remember what I said? Our first reaction is free will. So if you get angry or if you get frustrated, I'm telling you that's because they aligned you to the dark. If you're like, oh, well, can I change it up? Can I do something different? Do I need to do it right now? You see, like, if you just move forward, you're safe. But how could it be that the internet was off right then? Well, could something have known that we're going to at the path that we're walking? We can kind of expect where they're going to end up. Think of it like this. I'm just going to use speed and numbers so people can conceptualize it, but I visualize it as like, think of it like a top-down view, like you can see like a map. And if I'm like moving my character, where am I going to end up if I keep walking at the same pace? So you're going 5 miles per hour walking. You start here. It'll take me.
Connected to Fabian's iPhone and Fabian's MacBook Pro.
It'll take me 37 seconds to get here. But what if I don't do that? What if I stopped here? After 16, 15, 14 seconds. What happens then? They expected us to get to this spot, but we stopped here. So couldn't they have planned things for this spot right here? Do you guys see how if you do something unexpected, you create chaos? We think that what we experience when we do certain things outside, on social media, other people, that all of a sudden like something bad happened. And we always think that I'm like, how unfortunate. How like I can't believe that this happened, the timing of it. What if I told you that you guys all think that it was unexpected and it was chaos, but it was actually planned? They made it happen. They made it happen. So what all of you think is chaos and unexpected that we encounter throughout our life as we're just walking forward and experiencing things, I'm telling you, that's them. They make it happen. So when you don't do the expected path, you don't experience their intended chaos. We need to be the ones who create the chaos. We need to be the ones that disrupt every storyline. Because if you've been following along, and that's what as you guys notice, right now I'm talking. These are like the advanced tactics, right? The beginning I kept it a little more simple. This is the more advanced stuff. If people who watch this far, if you're following along, I hope this makes sense. If not, just please comment, send me a message, anything. You need to learn how to fight back, And doing that would be so unexpected. No one in your circle would be like, wait, you watch this stuff? You're trying to understand this? You're piecing this together? You agree with me that the world operates differently than we thought? This is how we break free. We have to do that. But if you do it in public, do you guys understand? If you comment publicly on LinkedIn, the website that no one expects anyone to talk about this stuff, you disrupt everything. If you did it on Reddit anonymously or on a YouTube comment with through like an alias or like something like that, no one knows it's you. So it's not as powerful. If you do it marching forward with no fear, there's nothing they can do. It disrupts everything. And that's how it creates chaos because anyone who bumps into it is going to be disrupted. Remember what I told you? That means that now they have free will temporarily. What happens after that? Well, it'll only take them a few seconds to get enslaved if they haven't broken free. But still, they had it for the first time in a while, a few seconds of freedom. I call it a win. So, you guys understand that we have to create these moments of chaos in our life. So I realized I'm like, well, no matter what I do right now, they've been setting up some things. I need to do something I've never done before, in the order or without a plan. So, F it. I'm just gonna shower immediately. Normally, I've been using it as a way to start a positive path. Didn't even shower with the lights on. Door open, music on in the distance, so I can barely hear it. Singing a random song, and I'm telling you, I felt powerful. Why? Because every single path that I was walking was my own. Do you guys get it? Every single path that I was walking was my own. Nothing told me to do so. Nothing had suggested it. If anything, they were like, no, 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 don't do it yet. Do you guys get it? When you just decide, be like, today's the day that I'm just going to destroy every storyline that I am currently experiencing in my life. There's nothing they can do. Is that the answer for every single thing? Maybe. But we do still have to take precautions because there's things that we can't control. And you guys know that if they know when we're going to walk outside, when we're going to arrive at a destination, they can make sure we encounter certain things. Even in as simple as a video game. You guys understand? If you don't do your expected path, you can disrupt everything. So what I begin noticing is that when I did that, first I felt unstoppable. I still overall felt like my inclination, but then all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, I'm starting to get attacked immediately out of nowhere. And yet I felt protected. I felt unstoppable. That tells me that was the answer. Because all of a sudden, I'm telling you guys, you get attacked by things that are not related to what they pre-seasoned you with. That's how you know if you're on the right path. Because normally they try to overwhelm you with one thing. Do you guys understand? Because recency, repetition, reinforcement, it expands the poison cloud. If there's a puddle of poison, there's fire over here, if there's water over here, if there's ice over here, if there's electricity over here, do you guys understand that if I walk into the fire, but then the next cloud or the next puddle right there is water or something like that, the fire gets negated. So if they're trying to do all 5 attacks, each one of those elements by themselves could cause a disruption to us, right? They could cause problems. But if all 5 of them are there, understand one of the attacks will actually negate the other attack. Do you get what I'm trying to tell you guys? You can bait them into negating their own attacks because they're going to try to reinforce one. And then all of a sudden, since you didn't walk that path, now they have to send another one because the information that's in that path you're going to walk is completely different. So now they have to change what they're spamming, attacking you with. But do you guys get what I'm trying to tell you? Like, if they're trying to attack you when, hey, when you were the coolest kid around and you did the nativity show in Mexico City when you were like 4 years old and you didn't even know Spanish, but somehow you were one of the 3 kings and you did that storyline. Normally, I wouldn't recommend teleporting the path, but I just wanted to show you guys what they do. So if they do something like that, but I did it through one of my positives. And they're just attacking and trying to remind you of that and keep trying to keep you in that time period. Like, hey, you remember all of a sudden the Cochinita lady when you went there with your family? I'm like, oh yeah, I teleport to a different time period. But then, see, like, what if there were negatives from each time period? So they're trying to do negatives of both, but all of a sudden, if there's negative of both, you guys understand you can just do this, jerk, jerk. You can just keep teleporting, or then you just walk your own path because there's not enough reinforcement in either direction. Do we see how we can actually control the things that try to control us? I call that darkness is our slave. They have to attack. They have to create problems. So, what if you walk around creating chaos, making unexpected paths, but you don't do it to harm? You do it to heal. You do it to help. You do it to make people remember. If right now I open the door and I throw a little bread for the doves and I whistle some songs for them, do you understand that I completely disrupted their path? I created chaos for all of them. Am I harming any of them? They might feel a little bit of fear at first, but that's because those ones have dark inclinations. The ones who are excited are light. But then that's that. After that, they're free to do whatever they want. They don't have to engage with anything that I'm doing. They don't have to experience anything that I'm doing. Do you guys understand how it's done? But what if now that's an expected path? What if this time I'm like, you know what? I'm about to open the door. I'm like, nah, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to say hello to the doves that are out there instead, through the front door. Wait, you never do that. I'm like, yeah. This time I'm just going to run. And everyone's like, why is this guy running? Like, people might be walking by. I'm like, what? Do you guys see? It changes everything because the seasoning isn't there. The preparation isn't there. The moment, though, you do that, I promise you, this is how you guys can start testing it if you're still not fully convinced. The moment you do that, all of a sudden you're going to start getting reminders and you're going to start getting attacked. Things are going to start appearing. Stay there for a little bit. And wherever you end up, like if you go outside and you don't go outside anymore because you realize that it's dangerous because of the info that can be presented to you, pay attention to what's being repeated and what's being shown. I'm telling you, I didn't expect it, they're immediately going to start sending attacks. It's almost like they send something to walk right in front of you. It's real, okay? You guys need to catch it. But we're not here to, I'm just trying to help you guys piece it together so you understand how this works. But those are the things how you can start understanding that the world works differently. That only is beneficial, just so all of you understand, for you to start understanding. Once you understand, don't do that anymore. There's no point. It's worthless. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's just to get you to all to understand, wait, the world can operate differently than I thought. If you do something unexpected right now and you completely change your path and then you stop somewhere, wait there. Just pay attention. I'm telling you, within a few minutes, there's going to be sounds, there's going to be visuals, there's going to be senses, there's going to be reminders that populate into your head, anything to start causing you disruptions because that's how they do it. And whatever they start presenting and trying to remind you of, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be attacks. Not good. I promise all of you. Because if you disrupted what they had set up and what they wanted you to do, that's the thing that pisses them off the most. And think about it logically, just for people around you guys. If you always, if I always made breakfast for myself, and today I don't, well, I might be annoyed at myself. You guys understand? Think about it like that. So, can you today, anything? This is my ask to each and every one of you. Can you today create chaos? Hey, you know what? I never walked this path like this. Can I do it a little differently today? But not for harm. Can I? So, for most of you, I've been pleading for all of you to do this, and I'm just going to use it. I know it's a path started, but it's okay. We're just causing more disruptions. Can you send in your resignation today? Each and every one of you. Can you please send in your resignation today? I'm begging you. It's time for you to quit your job. You'll finally be free. See, even just the way I say it could change things too. But I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if right now you did that, even if you had no intention of actually going through with quitting, if you all do that and you CC someone else on an email saying that you're resigning, do you get how much disruption that will cause? If you say, I'm going to quit, it doesn't matter if you were even planning to or not. That alone is going to disrupt everything. They might have never even considered that you might quit. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, we might have to change things up. We might have to change our path. Do you guys get it? I need all of you to take this seriously. But they're like, well, what happens if I actually go through with it and quit my storyline? Remember what I told you. If you did it for good, to finally be free, to regain control of the narrative, to finally be able to choose where you walk, no matter what you do. You're not harming people. You're not hurting people. You're only helping yourself. Then you're going to be happy. You're going to laugh. You're going to smile. You're going to see possibility for the first time in forever, each and every one of you. You're not constrained by anything. You're not limited by anything, but you're not trying to hurt anyone. Yet I promise you, you disrupted every single storyline around you forever. You changed everything. And based on my findings, that's the only thing that they can't control. If you just decide to do whatever you want right now, if you break free and don't listen to any suggestion and you just charge forward, just say, F it, I'm going to do this right now. Even just changing the order and the timing of it, and you don't have what you're exactly going to talk about plan, there's nothing they can do. No, we needed him to stay at that job for another 3 months. We had something planned. They might cause you problems after that, but then if they do, I want you all to pay attention to that. I want you all to pay attention to what happens after you do a play like that. If you put in your resignation and you feel amazing and you finally are free, and you're not trying to cause anyone harm, and you're like, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this to believe again. I'm doing this because I want to prioritize my family, um, the world. I want to help heal things. If suddenly you start getting attacked, I need you all to pay attention to that. Because that means that they're trying to stop you. Why would they try to stop you? Why would you try to stop anyone who's going to be free? Who's going to believe? Who's going to remember? Who's going to heal? Who's going to realize that they can achieve anything? Why would you try to stop that? Have you guys thought about that? You would never. Ever. I want you guys to all consider this. Today's the day we need to create chaos because it shows you that it exposes the entire game. It exposes the entire game the moment you decide to walk the path that they didn't expect and you disrupt it and you just walk forward. There's nothing they can do. There is nothing they can do because in that moment when you changed everything, when you just decided to be like, I'm going to just do this, and there's nothing they can do, suddenly the world responds to you. Do you guys understand? everything now responds to you because now nothing is planned. And think of any your movie, a book, a video game that you enjoy, a story. What if they're like, okay, well, they're going to talk to that dragon, and he's going to tell them the information that they need to figure out how they can move forward to save the world. What if they're about to talk to the dragon? They're like, you know what? Now, guys, well, if we talk to this dragon right now, it's going to change what we believe and how we walk. You know what? Not going to talk to the dragon. They're like, but we went all this way to talk to this dragon. Why wouldn't we? I'm like, not going to do it. Now they just walk differently, a different path. They might get to the same location, but you guys understand they were supposed to get there guided by the information that was presented to them, and now they didn't. That means when they get to the location, all of a sudden there's another dragon there. And this dragon's like, who are you guys? How did you find me? Like, we don't even know who you are. But what if that dragon would have told them, hey, this is the location of the enemy dragon. Hear what I just said of the enemy dragon. When you get there, they're the enemy. But now they got there and they don't even know that they're an enemy. They don't even know what this dragon is. Do you guys see what I'm trying to tell you? They did an unexpected path. They did an unexpected play. There's no problem. There's just freedom. It's free will. It's being able to decide based on every single experience. Like, ooh, this dragon has set up a trap and tried to hurt us. Enemy. We need to be cautious. Do you understand? You just are deciding for yourself. You're not deciding based on any info, any suggestions, any seasoning, anything that was presented to you preemptively. You decide for yourself. And I'm telling you, that's why I weaved in the risk of the optimal play. Even if you had broken free and you learn how to push yourself, you realize, well, I can make this part a little easier just so I can bring back strategy. Because if I only rely on execution, then I'm at risk to corruption. One of the most challenging things, guys, is that once you break free and you realize you just need to constantly push yourself and always figure out new, we get to a point where we don't know when to make it easier. We don't know. I struggle to talk about things or reconsume things that do you guys understand? Like, I'm saying some of you are still reconsuming like books and movies and games and content that you wrote from like years ago. And so that means I'd always teleport you to the past. Is that necessarily wrong? Up to you. I say yes. Unless it's a positive shield that makes you believe in happy and protects you temporarily. But that's it. But if you use the info to guide you and you're not learning new interpretations, right, it's dangerous. I'm saying that I struggle to do that for even something that I experienced yesterday. Because I'm like, keeps me in the past. I'm not moving forward as much as I could be. But if it still helped me, right, it's fine. But you guys see, like, I get to that point. So it gets to a point where all of a sudden now you're like, well, when do I even upgrade at all? I'm now used to nothing. I'm used to no upgrades. I'm used to no easiness. I'm used to just as much challenge as possible. And I want to figure out what's the point. The first point where if I just keep changing the tuning by 0.01%, at what point is it finally able to succeed? Wow, I only needed, let's say, if there's a tuning from 0 to 100, I needed 56%. Most people are operating with like 180%. Yeah, they surpass the tuning, like they make it that easy. I'm like, wow, it's doable at 56. Yet the developers or what the world, however, was designed, expected most people to do it at 100. And I'm saying it was doable at 56. Why do we have it at 100? That means that we're making it way too easy. If what if 56? That's before that, at 55, it doesn't matter if you play perfectly. You'll always lose. It's just not possible. But at 56, if you execute perfectly, it is possible. I've been always trying to find that in everything in my life. I think it's powerful. I think it's the way. Yet I realized that they caught on and they started trying to make corruption by doing that. Because if they just create some intentional negative reminders that pop up or stuff like that, and then you slow down even for a second, or let's say all of a sudden like your internet freezes for like 2 seconds. Do you guys get it? That's enough that your perfect execution play gets interrupted. They can do that. They can make you have lag and things of that nature. I'm telling you guys. So it means that the things that you guys rely on execution, they're controlling the outcome because if you guys are going for the 1% play, the 56%, that's not the answer. Yet most of you do that because you don't know strategy. I'm saying I look for that intentionally to push myself. Most of you just do that because you can't figure out strategy. So I'm trying to give you guys all the strategies up front. I'm saying we need to get to the point where it's about 60, 65, somewhere around there. 62 to 65, right? So we want about 5 to 10% leeway. That's what we want. Just so that there's enough room to modify strategy so we can actually do things, so we have an opportunity to respond. Because if you make one mistake and you lose and you have to restart, it's not strategy anymore. It means that at any point, if they want to just send you one reminder of data, then it's over. I'm telling you guys, most of you operate that way in life. They remind you of one sad thing and makes you make a mistake. Doesn't matter what it is. So how you can practice, first of all, identifying them is do an unexpected play today. Today is the day, each and every one of you. I want you to do something unexpected to create chaos. If all of you struggle to know what that is, like I need to create chaos today, that's my assignment from Shepherd Star. I need every single human being in this world to create chaos today, to disrupt their storylines, to do something unexpected. But remember, if your first reaction is like, well, maybe I should just like knock things over and do stuff like that. Yeah, that works. Do you guys get it? But what are you accomplishing when you do that? I want you to understand that part. When you do chaos and you create something unexpected, what are you accomplishing with it? Are you doing it to harm? Then try again. It's okay if you mess up and cause some harm the first time. Just try to minimize it, please. If you're learning, it's okay. But I promise you, try your best to avoid it. We're not trying to harm people. We're trying to heal and break everyone free. So now you're like, wait, should I actually just like knock over my bowl right now and make a mess? That could work. But do you guys understand? Like, is that really the answer? Like, well, what if right now I just decided to like sit outside with the doves for an hour for no reason? Well, 50 minutes from now, I had an appointment. You mean I'm not going to go to that? Correct. And I'm just sitting with doves. I'm like, yeah. Tell them a story. How you broke free. People are like, what? I'm like, yeah. See, you're not causing any harm. But like, maybe I disrupted someone at the appointment. I'm like, now they have free time. Did you really cause them harm? Hmm? Now they're free. Why do they think it's harm? Do you guys understand? Do you see what I'm talking about, guys? It's not simple. Yet then, pay attention to what happens after. Each and every one of you. When you first regain control, how do you feel? But then, what gets presented to you? You get reminded of data when you were a dad? Or do they present to you negatives? When you were taking care of him in the morning? When you're playing him Xenoblade songs? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? Sometimes you have to fight back. Sometimes you have to defend yourself. But we all have to choose. We have to. And you can't be afraid. You can't. But eventually, if they keep going, you have to respond to them. And eventually, we just have to disrupt their path, each and every one of us. We have to. All of us. That is today humanity's assignment. We need to create chaos. We need to destroy every storyline in this world. And it starts with just something as, hey, I always shower 2 hours in. Can I shower today in darkness with the door open while music is playing? Hey, if you live alone, why not? And then I always stream or post right after. Can I just choose not to? Do you guys get it? You must disrupt your story in everything. And then pay attention to what happens after. How you feel and how everything around you reacts. Every single thing. Everything. The sounds you experiences, the memories that get pushed to you, the senses that experience, everything. Every single thing. When you do the unexpected path and play and you create chaos, what happens? That is what I want all of you to focus on. It's time for all of you to break free. Today's the day. So how did I get to this? I explained my entire path. This is where we're going to end. How did I get to this? I just realized that if I don't change it up, I become who they want me to be. They don't know better. No one does. Every single thing is just guessing. We all are. So that means that we decide. I'm telling you guys, you've always been free. You let them enslave you. So when I woke up, I realized, let today be the day that I just break free. And you know what, guys? I'm going to get enslaved later today. I already know so. I just so you guys understand. People are like, wait, what? I'm like, it's going to happen. Because they're going to present enough attacks. And there's going to be a point where I'm like, I want to rest. And I'm going to try to resist. I'm going to try not resting and disrupting that reaction. But it's not easy. Do you guys get it? Because you feel tired. You're drained. And I might disrupt it. But even then, it's not easy. I'm saying when that happens, they've temporarily enslaved me. But it's okay. Do you guys get what I'm trying to show you? Is that you break free and they're going to still find a way to enslave you again temporarily, even if it's for 5 seconds. There's been moments on this stream alone, just so you guys understand, where I was enslaved. I call enslaved being forced to respond to them. So that's why we decide. We make them respond to us. That's how I got to it. I realized I need to make them respond to my actions. I've been letting them dictate my path for far too long. If I'm always responding to their actions and their attacks and their suggestions, and again, I break free from all of them, but do you understand? That means that I'm still modifying my path based on what they do. I need to create the path. I need to create the disruptions. I need to destroy the storyline. So let this be the moment each and every one of you finally say, no more. Today we break free. Today we climb. And today we destroy every story in our life. Not for harm, for good. I can't wait to read every comment and every post about every single person who no longer is working their job, who's no longer doing the same story they've done for 30 years. Let today be the day. I pray and wish that all of humanity is finally free today and finally realizes, after I've explained everything for the last 2 hours, how they do it and why they do it. Embrace darkness, embrace light, and create chaos. Today is the day we create so much chaos that they respond to us. Today, we help everyone by breaking free. Are you with me? Let's do this.